Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for It's a Wonderful Knife. That's right, it's kind of a horror comedy, kind of a different take on the classic family film, Christmas film, It's a Wonderful Life, about a man who gets to see his life as if he has never existed, and he learns his lesson and yada 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 yada. So this one here, again, it's Bill's a horror comedy, so that kind of gets the juices flowing. I like to laugh, and I love a good horror film. This one's more in the slasher film vibe in terms of its horror. We have basic premise here of a young girl who's lives in this town of Angel Falls, which is pretty much a small little town up north, and it's really kind of being controlled from a business standpoint by Justin Long's character, who's trying to build his own empire there and kind of take over the whole city and what have you. With the girl, she goes through a traumatic experience. One Christmas where there's a killer on the loose. A few people died, including her best friend. And a year later, in the next Christmas, she's still suffering from those effects, kind of traumatic effects of what happened to her, because she ended up killing the original killer. So she's kind of a hero, but at the same time she can't get past the whole thing, and it seems like everyone's moved on but her, and she's having a hard time. Things are kind of all going against her. So she makes a wish that she never existed to see what things will be like, and the wish comes true, right? She still remains in the same town, but no one seems to recognize her, not even her family. It's like she literally never existed. And as a result of her not existing, the killer is still on the loose because she was the one that killed him in the first place. So she has to figure out a way to, get back to her original life. Listen, this one here, I'll put it very simply, is absolute donkey shit. This movie's terrible. It's really bad, worse than I thought going into it. Listen, a horror comedy can work, and we've seen it done well sometimes. Even something like Scream, which is more of a horror than a comedy, but it has comedic elements that really worked. It leaned in more on the horror side. Recently, The Blackening, right? I'm not a horror comedy about a slasher, but it leaned heavily more into the comedy with some horror elements. Totally Killer is another one that came out on I think Amazon. I'm sorry, of a girl who kind of again a slasher film, but she goes back in time to try to stop him. That has a lot of fun. It's a good film. It's fun. It's entertaining, but it leans in a lot into the comedy more than the horror. This one here doesn't lean into the horror nor the comedy, because this movie is not funny and it's absolutely not scary in the least. And I start with the horror elements because again, it takes the slasher killer approach, and none of it works. We all we kind of know who the killer is in the beginning, and then the twist towards the end, it's so calculated, so obvious, it fails. But it's just not scary, right? The tension's not there. The scenes are almost laughable. There's one kind of cool, kind of death scene and all that, which okay, it's fine, it's surprising, but the rest was just like was whatever. It was throwaway, and I don't think it was ever designed to really be a horror kind of film, which I'm okay with as long as maybe the comedy side will work, and that didn't work either. I didn't laugh. I think I laughed like maybe once. I chuckled once, but that's it. Yeah, and it's just so uninventive. You have a premise of a girl who no one recognizes, right? Actually, like as if she never existed, and they have no fun with it. It's just very basic, and something like Totally Killer, they have fun with the whole premise of her going back in time and things like that. We see movies, particularly from Blumhouse, take some, it's invented, it's been created for some of these, interesting ideas. And this was an interesting idea. He just executed like shit. It's that simple. It was just very amateurish. The acting is terrible. Justin Long is ridiculous in this movie. He really is. The ending, wow, it's almost nonsensical, and it's dumb and dopey. It just nothing works on here. It's kind of a shame because I do like this idea of this It's a Wonderful Life take on it, on a horror film that really could have worked. But to its credit, there's one kind of cool scene in the third act involving a camera and a flash. I'll leave it at that. That was really cool. That was invented. That was something interesting. But besides that, nothing else to say, man. This movie's a complete dud. It's awful. It's just nothing works, and it's a shame. It's just very amateurish, all over the place. I wish Blumhouse would have done something like this. I think they would have done a much better job as they have in the past. They know how to do horror and combine different kind of elements to the film sometimes. This one was just awful. Don't watch it. Avoid it. It's not even at home. It's just not worth it. Maybe if you're incredibly drunk, or maybe a little smoke in there, and it kind of gets the head going a certain way, and you feel good about yourself, and you're in this mood. Maybe that works. Other than that, avoid it like the plague. It's awful. It's terrible. A complete waste of time. Even at an hour and 27 minutes, it felt about an hour and 26 minutes too long. It just doesn't work. So avoid it. But if you do watch it, you like it, good for you. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and free money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.